welcome back to the show. On the show today, we have lead singer from the BrandiWyneBand. So, Brandy, with the band, obviously your name is Brandy. Is that how you came up with the band? Like, you know what I mean? How'd you come up with the band's name?
Brandy, it's actually Brandy Wine, but yes, it does.
Wine.
It's pronounced. It's okay. It looks like it's
I'm
pronounced
sorry.
Brandy Wynn, and it is said that way 90% of the time. So
Maybe because I'm Canadian, I'm from Toronto, so
that's all right. It's not, honestly, it's not that big a deal. But it's a moniker that actually I've been using since I started writing music back in about 2001.
Okay.
And then as I started writing and producing music, I realized I needed to be able to perform live and began forming a band actually around the moniker and then started performing in the Pacific Northwest.
That's great. Wow. So let's talk a little bit about writing skills, your inspiration now. Do you write the songs yourself or is it a team effort? How do you guys come up with the finished product?
It's a mix. We have, well, some of them I have written myself. Some I have partnered with other producers, other writers. Some the entire band has sat in together and helped write. We're actually working on a song currently called A Dance for Two that our lead guitarist wrote. And but again, it starts one way and it starts to morph. And so we're figuring out all the fun little details with that. And yeah.
Let me ask you this. So when you guys do, like when you're writing and you're doing the bridge, right? Mm-hmm. Do you ever take your songs in a different genre? And the best example I could give would be like Led Zeppelin, the way the way they go fast and slow and then they sort of change it up a bit. Do you ever do that with any of your songs, go in a totally different direction after the bridge or something like that?
Not too much. I mean, some of our bridges are sometimes a little faster or a little slower, but the genre typically stays the same, or the feel stays the same throughout the entire song. Now,
okay.
Going from song A to song B, that's a completely different story.
Yeah.
But as far as the feel of the music, we try to keep it as close as we can, just
like,
so there's some consistency.
Like "Fool on a Hill," right? From with Zeppelin or whatever. Like the way they do it. Yeah, like just the way I love the way they can change it up, and there's so many other bands who do that. So let me ask you a little bit about your song recipe without giving away the goods. So, is there a formula that you kind of follow, or is it sort of open ended?
Well, I'm kind of an old school writer, so I love writing songs that have a story. So typically that's how I started. I will write down what it is I want the song to portray or what I want it to tell. And then I go back and look at the elements and break them down and start thinking of all the different ways that could be said or could be portrayed in the song. And just it kind of grows from there.
Do you ever use the rhyming technique?
What is
like I think every second or third line, if you put a rhyme in there, so you know what I mean.
Yeah. It's a 2/4 cadence. In most of my songs. So yeah, usually it's a 2/4 cadence. We've tried doing the every line thing, and it's just I don't know. I guess I'm not that smart. I ran out of lines too fast. So
because I'm also a little bit of a songwriter, so that's what I do. I find I'm a rhymer. So and I mix in the story after the rhyme. Like I find the right word, I guess, to sort of build the song around. Mm-hmm. And then I start my rhymes, and then I create the story. It's almost like organic, because I don't even know what I'm doing. Like it just happens. I just, you know what I mean? I have a subject that I want to write about. Then I kind of look at other like I really look at the Eagles when I look to write songs. I look at the Eagles, their format. I really like how they do it, and then I sort of just steal and insert my own idea. How about some of your own inspirations now in the music industry? Who are they?
Musical influences? Oh my gosh, everybody and anybody.
Top three.
Top three. Well, Aretha Franklin was my first and probably my strongest influence. I grew up listening to her, and she was the kind of like the sound, the soul that I wanted to be able to embed in my music.
Now, how come Aretha? Were you introduced to her at a young age through your family, or?
So how I learned to sing was probably not what would be considered typical. Myself and a close friend of mine who also ended up going into music when we were very young, we were at a park near where we lived, because back then it was okay for kids to just kind of take off and wander. And there was a group of gentlemen that were there that were singing. I now know they were like a barbershop quartet type deal.
Okay.
But we would sneak out because they would meet twice a week in the same park at the same time, and we would like hide in the bushes and would listen to them.
Really?
And finally, yeah, and finally
Hide in the bushes.
Yeah, well, because we didn't want to interrupt them, and I was like 4 or 5 years old, like I should not have been out by myself. But finally, one of these days, they were like, "Hey, you know, you've been hiding around here quite a bit. Do you want to come over?" And we were like, "Huh?" He goes, "Do you know how to sing?" And we were both like, "No."
Wow.
He's like, "Okay, well, let's show you." And so they actually used to teach us parts, and they did a lot of old Motown. So that was my first exposure, kind of, to that whole scenario.
That's a great story.
How to sing. Yeah, although, you know, nowadays if someone told that, I'm pretty sure CPA would come.
Yeah.
But, again, different era, different things were acceptable.
So Aretha, who else?
So Aretha is probably number one. Pink is a huge influence for me. I followed her since the beginning of her career.
How is she feeling? Because she got sick a little bit.
Yeah.
I hope she's
yeah,
okay.
It's stressful, and you know, she's a mom and she tours, and
yeah, I hope she's okay, because I heard she had to cancel a couple of shows, and that's what's going back a little bit, so maybe she's fine now. I don't know. But,
yeah, no, she's still, you know, trying to recover and get around all this. Again, going back to the staying grounded and the stress and everything from it, it does take its toll, you know. And this woman gives huge productions. I mean, she does trapeze work, flame work, water work. It's like anything it's like a production of O when you go to her show. So yeah, she's another level. So she's kind of one of my influences. One, because she did what she wanted, even though that wasn't necessarily what other people wanted from her. And her stage presence. Like, if I could somehow embed and incorporate at least 2% of what she does, I would be over the moon.
So let me ask you this. So you said, okay, so Aretha in Pink. Now, do you have a favorite band, or are they your favorites also? Or you use them for more inspiration? Like, who do you like music-wise?
Music-wise, again, I listen to a little bit of everything. I think there's just something from every genre that can be pulled. The only thing I would say I don't listen to and I've never really cared for is like the hardcore gangster rap stuff.
Okay.
But outside of that, and I could never pull that off anyway. So,
see, I like the early gangster rap, like NWA and Ice Cube and like Public Enemy and Grandmaster Flash.
My little sister was a huge Tupac fan.
Yeah. I'm not much Tupac. Tupac was past my time. I was more in the early. I was like in the early '80s with Sugar Hill, like the Sugar Hill band, like when it started with Grandmaster Flash and Eazy-E, and way back. On the show today, we have Brandi from BrandiWyne. What is it? Wine Band. There you go, BrandiWyneBand. So, Brandi, if people want to find out more information, where could they go? And I'm going to bring you back, and I'm going to get one more special question. But before we go to commercial break, where could they go to find out more information on your band?
So the easiest way is going to our website, which is www.brandiwynemusic.com, and that's BrandiWyne music.com. Or you can go to the Big Records .world site and look under their artist page. So, and they'll have a little link to all of our streams and our music and some fun little information about us.
Okay, before I let you go, I was going to take a quick break, but I'm going to mix it up. So before I let you go, name the best thing you like about a live performance. One thing that you like about doing a live performance. What is it?
Probably seeing the people's emotions or their faces when you perform. Getting to see how the different songs affect them and how they react. I think that really hits it home. It really drives into your heart, like that you're doing something good and that you're actually affecting other people, and it's not just, you know, something selfish that you're doing for yourself, because it's amazing and it's fun, but to know you're helping others too.
That's a great answer. That's a great answer. Thanks, Brandi. Have a great day. We'll have you back on the show.
All right.
Stay tuned, and I'm going to come back and wrap the show. I'm Jay Stoyan. You're watching the Today Show. We'll see you next time, Brandy.